This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace. I forgot our lines there, and I started almost drinking my coffee.
I was getting ready to pause until you finished drinking your coffee, but then it'd be like an awkward, welcome to Saturday Morning Mysteries. Where you're such a long pause.
Appreciate that.
Anyway, so clearly we're excited today, having fun already, kicking it off with a new show, our third show, I think, of 2023.
Whoa.
Yeah, already time flies when you're having fun.
True.
And we're very, very excited for this show. Grace, I believe you have some stories to tell about it based on last week's episode, how you took us off on there. But should I say what we're doing?
Say
if people
it.
Haven't already read the title. All right, our next episode arc is The Wild Thornberrys. Yes. And
are you gonna put some like jungle sounds or
probs,
drums in the back for this music?
Yeah, and maybe some like airy flutes and stuff like that.
A didgeridoo, perhaps. Nice.
Just have didgeridoo music going through the entire episode, just that deep humming. What's that?
I wouldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. See what I can do. It won't be the whole episode, but yeah, we'll see what I come up with. / people who are listening and watching are like, it's already in here. What are they talking about?
We just heard it.
Usual. Yeah. As per usual, we record in advance. I haven't even started the music yet, but y'all will probably like it by now. So
you're welcome is what we're saying.
Exactly. For the didgeridoo in your ear right now, or perhaps not. I shouldn't limit myself there.
Don't promise, yeah.
So, no promises. So we're super excited for this episode arc. This was a very big show in both of our childhoods. Yes. Grace is up first, or I guess actually before I hand it over to you, I will say thank you to my cousin Joseph, who technically recommended this show to me / to us to cover on this podcast. I think he listens pretty often too, and he was in town a few weeks ago in my town, not Grace's town, obviously.
We're hanging out, Eugene.
Although he lives on your side of the country. But anyway, he was in town with his daughter, and he was talking about how he watches The Wild Thornberrys with her, and we went to the Museum of National History in DC, and we're looking at a lot of the animals and stuff, and he was like talking to her about, don't you remember seeing that in The Wild Thornberrys and everything, and how poachers were bad and trying to get that animal. And then I looked at him like, wait a minute, does that show have to do a lot with poachers? Because I couldn't remember everything from it growing up. And he's like, yeah, actually, that's a lot of what it is. I was like, oh my God, Joe, should we cover that on Saturday Morning Mysteries? And he was like, actually, yeah, that's a good idea. So boom, here we are. Thank you, Joe. And your daughter for talking about that show a couple of weeks ago.
Maybe don't let her listen to this, but
yeah, no. When she's older, when she's much older. But yeah, to that end, Grace always starts us off on her episode arc, so I'm gonna hand it over to her.
Thank you.
Get us started. Yes.
So, like we said, we're covering The Wild Thornberrys. This is an iconic Nickelodeon show that ran from 1998 to 2004. And the show follows a family, the Thornberrys, as they travel the globe filming a nature show that parents make. And in it, we see them survive natural disasters, animal encounters, and the most dangerous thing of all, other humans. Dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Probably put the creepy organ music there.
Yes, perfect. Didgeridoo underneath it still.
Nightmare fuel.
Truly. Yeah. But like you just mentioned before, I fully get into the show. But yes, this was an important show for both of us as in our childhood. So Alexis, what memories do you have of this show? What experiences did you have with this show? Tell us.
Well, I think other than honestly just watching it after school and stuff and just enjoying it because of all of the animals and thinking that Eliza, who I'm sure you'll talk about it later, but she just had the coolest powers. and also loving the RV that they live in for real. Like, you have the listing of, oh, I want that bedroom or that house from these shows. Like, Hey Arnold is high up on the list and everything. It's like, oh wow, I want a camper like RV like that to travel the whole world, which you can relate to. But I think really the most memorable thing for me is when they did a crossover movie with the Rugrats. Which was awesome. And yeah, maybe we'll talk about that later, or I don't know, but
maybe for some like bonus thing one day we'll.
Sure, yeah, because I guess that would be the one way for us to talk about the Rugrats on this show. Probably the fact that it was crossed over with the Wild Thornberrys. So yeah, I really like that, and story about a close family, pretty much, that definitely had its flaws, but always came back together and supported each other in the end. It's great for children, aside from the scary poachers and murderous animals sometimes, or not murderous, but angry and
but like dangerous.
Attacking. Yeah, dangerous. And like, is a better
I
word.
will say, this is like, they show some shit in this show. Like, it doesn't hold back. So yes, minus that whole thing.
But whatever. It's for kids though.
Yes, exactly. So for me, growing up, this was the perfect show. And like rewatch, I haven't watched it since I was a kid. Like I definitely, it's always, like been somewhere in the back of my mind. Like what I think I mentioned last week was that I absolutely, I'm pretty sure at least dressed up for like Debbie for Halloween once. Because it's like the easiest, like blonde white girl costume, because it's just like, here are jeans and a flannel and I can be grumpy. Like, great. I can be Debbie.
I can do this
type of thing. Like, cool. I look just like her. And am grumpy all the time. Anyways, so this show.
Wait, can I just say real quick before you keep going?
Yes.
Because ever since last week's episode, when you said, I'm going to tell you next week who I dressed up as in a costume, I've been trying to guess. And like, in my head, I was like, it's probably Debbie, because like Grace already has like the thick, or at least when she was younger, like the thick blonde hair, whatever, long, whatever. But in my heart of hearts, I so badly wanted it to be Donnie.
You know what?
I don't know
Justin could dress up as Donnie. His hair is crazy.
And he can not wear a shirt. That would be more appropriate.
Oh man. We got a costume for this year.
Wild Thornberrys costume. There you go.
Let me tell you. You know what? Our wedding in October, scratching the theme, making it a Halloween party. Justin will dress up as Donnie. Just kidding, Justin, that we're not doing that.
I'll be Darwin. Oh, wait, we're not doing that. Never mind. Just kidding. Still coming like a blue and white.
I could see you showing up as Nigel. Just like getting a fake giant. All right, we'll get into the characters here in a second. But basically, this was the perfect show to me. Watching it like now as an adult felt like suddenly like a circuit was complete in my brain of like how much this show made me who I am today. Like, I love to travel. I love animals, and I am constantly talking to them as if they can understand me. When I am up with anxiety, I watch Blue Planet 2 to fall back asleep, aka a nature show with a British host, just like this show has. Like, it all adds up. I wanted to be Eliza Thornberry. Like, again, watching the show, I was just like, I wanted the camper. Literally picking up our camper today.
Like, you wanted a camper? You got one.
It all suddenly like clicked into place. And I was like, oh my God, this show was me. Anyways, so let's talk about our main cast, which we've mentioned a handful of these names. Again, it is the Thornberry family. So we're going to start with the patriarch of the family, Sir Nigel Archibald Thornberry, because apparently he was actually knighted. So there we go. He is a British man who hosts the nature show that the family makes. So I assume he's like a wildlife biologist or something. He wears a Steve Irwin adventure outfit, the classic look. He's got a really long face and prominent chin and nose with like spiky red hair and a really big red spiky mustache. He is super cheery. He's overly enthusiastic constantly. Like, nothing can get this man down. And Nigel, dear Nigel, is voiced by Tim fucking Curry.
The legend.
The man, the myth, the legend. Tim Curry voices Nigel. I have nothing more to say about it except that
probably also another reason why we love this show growing up, because I think we both loved Tim Curry as little kids too.
And as an adult, I just loved him.
It's
Muppet Treasure Island, Clue. Those were like the first introductions I had to Tim Curry. Rocky Horror Picture Show. It just everything. He is just perfect and is perfect as Nigel in this show. So then we have the matriarch of the family, Marianne Thornberry, and she is the mama of the family, who's also the cinematographer and frankly the brains behind the wildlife show. She makes it all happen and keeps this family together. She rocks some high-waisted jeans, an adventure vest crop top, the late 90s like small round glasses, and a red bandana over short blonde hair. And I didn't realize this until I was like making sure everything I was saying was correct-ish on Wikipedia. But there's some episode in which we meet her parents, and her mom is voiced by Betty White.
Rest in peace. Yeah.
R.I.P. because this show
legend.
Fucking
the voice cast is
plays
beautiful.
1,000%. Like the guest, like not only just like the cast itself, which we'll get to a couple more here, but like the guest voices. Like there's a guest voice in this episode that when I was writing it, I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy. It sounds like blah, 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 blah. And then when I was like getting some like pictures for like the YouTube, it like listed who it was, and I shrieked.
Like, oh my God, it's blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, so
I can't wait to hear who it is.
Get ready. So, yes, and Marianne, I always feel like I say her name wrong because Nigel's the only one who actually says her name, and he says it in his, Tim Curry says it, so it sounds like butchered when me, a peasantly American, says it. So I'm probably just going to call them mom and dad, as to not offend Tim Curry. So
we're sorry, sir.
I'm so sorry, sir. So then we have the eldest daughter, Debbie Thornberry. She is like the archetype for an angsty teenager who is too cool for school, but deep down loves her family. She's 16. She's got very voluminous blonde, super curly hair that like swoops over her face because she's angsty. Again, she's got 90s grunge. She wears big, like baggy jeans, a flannel, a crop top, eyeliner, and like dark purple lipstick. She is very over traveling the world in remote places. She just wants to be a normal teenager, which on one side, I'm like, girl, ungrateful. On the other side, I'm like, I get it. You're a 16-year-old girl.
Yeah.
It also for me set up like the eye rolls that she would always have, and like her like almost like Aubrey Plaza-esque voice of like monotone and just fucking over it. I was like, this is what teenagers are like. Like this is what we all turn into.
Yes.
So we're gonna skip right now the family's other daughter because she's our main character and there's more to say about her. So we're going to consider this next one, their youngest child, more or less, Donnie Thornberry. Yeah. And so for most of the show, Donnie, who's like 4 or 5, is we know about him for most of the show until like the movie that happens later is that he's a feral boy who the Thornberrys just adopted in their adventures. And we eventually learn in the film that, I mean, this isn't giving anything away, that his parents were killed by poachers and in like Borneo, and like his parents were friends with the Thornberrys. And when his parents were killed by poachers in the wild, he was taken in by a family of orangutans, and the orangutans raised him until the Thornberrys found him and adopted him. So due to this, he acts like a little monkey. He just like yells in gibberish, and he like runs around. He's got like wild hair going everywhere, shirtless, shoeless. He wears like cheetah print shorts. He loves his family, and he is voiced.
This is like one of the funniest. This is one of the fun. Okay, just to build up. how Jodie Foster was like the big voice, like trivia fact from Amazing Chan. This to me is the big like trivia fact from Wild Thornberrys. Sorry.
And
Go
before
on.
I say, no, this is good to build up because also like when I say he speaks in gibberish, it's literally just like, it's like how Donnie speaks. And it's voiced by Flea of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. So they hired Flea somehow to be like, hey, want to just come make noises?
Yell gibberish?
Yeah, and he was like, done. So iconic.
Every episode I watch, I just like, whenever Donnie talks, I just sit and I imagine Flea just in the studio, like,
just freaking out.
Yeah. And I also wonder if he like recorded just like hours worth of Donnie, that they then just put in the episode, or if he actually like came in for every episode.
I like to think that he took it that seriously, that he was like, no, give me the plot. What is Donnie feeling in this moment?
Yes.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I need to know how to translate these emotions into nonsense.
Into nonsense noises. I'm gonna, in the next couple weeks, do some YouTubing. I bet there's some footage somewhere of Flea doing the Donnie voice. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and find it for us. So then we have Darwin, who is a pet chimpanzee. So he rocks a blue and white striped tank top and blue shorts. And we, thanks to something I'll talk about in a moment, can hear his voice, which is a very classy upper class British accent. And he, like Debbie, can sometimes be over the whole living in a remote place and like wishes he lived in like a civilization because he is surrounded by other animals and he's better than that, according to him, basically. But he is best friends with our main protagonist / my childhood hero / the reason we can hear his voice is because of Eliza Thornberry. So Eliza is a 12-year-old girl with red hair that she wears in these like cute little braided pigtails, which I also often wear. So again, this show made me who I am. She's got freckles, a super round face, round glasses, and big old braces. She wears a yellow dress with like a little red turtleneck underneath and hiking boots. And she is overjoyed about traveling the world, being deep into nature and the backcountry. She's extremely adventurous. She loves to explore. She's super impulsive to get what she wants, even to the detriment of herself and others sometimes. And what is most special about Eliza? Is it that she's voiced by Lacey, how do you say her last name? Chabert, aka Gretchen from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Which Bird told me about before I started rewatching, and like, you can't unhear it now. Like,
yeah, it's Gretchen. Watching
it,
like,
yeah, I was
Gretchen,
like,
what are you doing here in Brazil?
Her hair's so big.
Yeah,
her braids are so big. They're full of secrets. So yes, that's pretty cool. But actually, the most special thing about Eliza is that she was given the power, the gift to communicate with animals by an African shaman. Thus, why we can hear Darwin's voice and all other animals is because we're hearing them through Eliza's point of view, because she can communicate with them. So to everyone else, it kind of just sounds like she's like making animal noises like kids do, or adults like myself. Yeah. But in reality, they're having a full-on in English combo with each other. But this gift must be kept secret from other humans, or else she will lose these powers. So not even her family knows about it. Again, things change in the movie, but for our sake, no one knows about it.
Yeah.
Thus, Eliza is always very excited to meet and talk to animals of all kinds and to try and get to know them better than the experts like her parents do. Even when it puts, again, her and others in dangerous situations, which I only mention again because the Wikipedia like fandom page adds at the end, she never seems to learn her lesson about her reckless behavior in the pursuit
Facts.
of meeting
It always
animals.
Starts right back up fresh the next episode.
Exactly. And so they travel around in, like we mentioned, a giant dream RV that they call the ComV. It's like this all elements, all conditions, huge RV that has like tiger stripes on the side and can do everything. And this is what, yes, like you mentioned, they travel the world in it, et cetera, et cetera. So I must say, before we fully launch in, that this family who knows so much about nature is constantly loosey-goosey with their safety out there in the backcountry, possibly surrounded by predators and poachers and criminals, like kind of the recurring theme. And so with that in mind, I do want to note that while there will be some crime in this arc by the humans, these episodes are like maybe going to be more akin to like survivor stories and like adventure stories, which like, one, a bunch of true crime shows that I listen to do survivor stories. And two, we have no rules on this show and we can do whatever we want. So
survival is a mystery as far as I'm concerned. And it's Saturday morning. So
there we go. What you gonna do about it?
Briefly change it to Saturday morning survival. No. Yeah, I think it's very on brand for the theme of this podcast. It works. And if you don't like it, then please don't stop listening. But oh well.
If you don't like it, please give us a 5-star review still and tell a friend. And like subscribe, give us a like while you're here.
And share. Yeah.
And share.
Drop a comment.
Hear from your anchor.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't be mad. Anyways, we think you're gonna love this arc with us. So we start off today's episode, this first episode of Wild Thornberrys, in Tanzania, Africa, at Mount Kilimanjaro. So the Thornberrys are there specifically to make an episode of the nature show about lions. So mom and dad, Nigel and Marianne, are stoked, but also rushing to get some footage for the show because they've been out there for 3 days and there's this huge storm rolling in, as well as nighttime approaching. And they haven't seen any lions yet. So they're like trying to get some good footage to make it worth being out here. Debbie is bored as fuck. Donnie is just running around being wild. Darwin is like pretty nervous because he's a chimpanzee in lion country. So he's like, I hate this place. Y'all are making a video. Y'all are on vacay. I'm running for my life, possibly. And then Eliza is stoked because she so badly wants to meet a lion. So Nigel and Marianne are trying to film on top of the ComV, but as Nigel waxes poetic about lions, saying things like, lions, Leo, the royal family of the savannah, the golden shadows of the night. Marianne cuts him off, stops him. She's like, something is missing from the shot right now. We're not quite getting it. Funny enough, Debbie is like, yeah, the lions, which like,
Debbie.
True though. But no, Marianne thinks what they need is a tracking shot because they don't have any lions. So they got to make it a little more interesting. So tracking shot, like some movement happening basically. And so the issue here is that it's a 2-person team. How are they going to do the tracking shot, moving the ComV, because that's how they're going to do it while filming, while Nigel speaks. So Debbie immediately jumps up to volunteer herself for the task. Yes, to drive the ComV, so the parents can get the shot on the roof. Very on brand. She says it's her divine right as a 16-year-old to be behind the wheel.
Okay.
Girl, what God do you follow?
Yeah, I was like, I don't remember reading that in the Bible, but all righty.
Is that in the Constitution? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really seem like they've actually taught her how to drive exactly yet.
It's her divine right. She'll know when she tries it.
Exactly. But as it's her divine right, her parents agree. Also, she's a little bit of a bully to her mom sometimes. And the sky keeps getting darker and lightning starts. So Marianne is like, shit, we got to get this shot. All right. She literally just has to drive straight, slowly. She can't fuck it up that bad. Gives her the brief 101 and hops onto the roof to start filming. Debbie slips behind the wheel and is like, I get this. Okay. Also, like an uncaring 16-year-old, she just like spits out her gum. before she starts driving, and then hits the road. She starts driving. Her parents are on the roof filming. Again, lightning is starting to pick up. It starts to rain. Eliza is outside of the Comvy with Darwin and Donnie and is just like, all right, bye, have fun. Where them lions at? Like, see y'all.
Let me take this monkey and small boy to go meet some lions.
Eliza's like, these are easier prey than me. Yeah. Let's go find the lions.
You need to be able to outrun them.
Yeah, this is some bait action.
Yeah.
But right before her very eyes, as she's waving goodbye to the Comvy, as it drives away, the Comvy starts to get faster and then faster and then faster and starts swerving as her parents start screaming on top, and Debbie starts screaming inside because when she spit her gum out rudely, it fell underneath the floor. And this is some like Gorilla Glue gum because it got stuck to the gas pedal and it has literally pinned it full pedal to the metal, and it's unable to stop. So Eliza, Donnie, and Darwin obviously also start screaming and start sprinting after their parents, who are currently holding on for dear life on top of the Comvy as it's like swerving. And everyone is screaming as the Comvy launches off of kind of like a small cliff, not like a huge thing, but basically into a riverbed. That is, because it's raining, all mud.
Gotcha.
And Marianne, though she jumps down and literally like pushes Debbie out of the seat, and tries to fix this problem.
Job.
I know, truly drive straight, don't kill us. And now here we are.
Here we are, about to die.
About to die, yes, because not only is it indeed stuck in the mud, just spinning its wheels, thus like digging them deeper into the mud, but with the increasing rain, the mud is getting deeper. And then someone, I can't remember who, screams that everyone needs to get on the roof because, again, with the onslaught of rain, this is a very muddy, clearly area, not very stable. A roaring river flood starts rushing towards the Comvy that is stuck in this riverbed. So Debbie is able to get onto the roof, and moments before the water straight up slams into the Comvy, Marianne hits a very Chan Van-like button labeled flood, which inflates like these huge lifeboat like floaties on the bottom of the Comvy, so it starts to float. This is another cool aspect of the Comvy because it just has like a natural disaster like kit on it, like avalanche and like that type of stuff. So it's pretty decked out. So now we've got Mom, Dad, Debbie on the roof, roaring down this river on the Comvy. Eliza, Darwin, and Donnie sprinting along the riverbank, screaming, trying to find a way to get their family off the Comvy that is rushing down this quickly rising, flooding river. Marianne is able to grab a survival kit from the vehicle. And Nigel has her and Debbie hold on to him as he like jumps to grab like a branch hanging over the river and like starts to shuffle them towards the riverbank. But because this show is way too intense for children, it fucking breaks. And they just land into this roaring river. Like they plunge into it. We see Eliza just screaming. And I was like, this is 5 minutes in.
Of the first episode. What in my like horrible childhood mind was I like, yes, I want more. Give me more.
In. Did these 3 people just die? Sign me up. So luckily they were close enough to shore that they were able to fight and get onto the shore before being swept away, like their Comvy now is, rocking off into the sunset, leaving them in the rain.
Oh, God.
Yeah, not great. No. Also, still in basically nighttime in the middle of. So, not great.
The safari. Awesome.
Yes.
Going well so far.
Going swimmingly. So. Literally, I didn't even think about that. I was thinking
Thornberrys like shudder at that pun.
Not again. Keep us from the water. But no, this hardcore family who are used to the wild all hop into action, or at least most of them do. Because Debbie is mainly just complaining that they shouldn't make camp here for the night, but go follow the river to like get the calm V back. Because I don't want to be stuck in the rain. So
my hair
is going to get so frizzy. So her and her mom get into a fight over this. And Marianne basically is like, sit down, shut up. We're staying here for the night. It's dangerous to go fucking hike in the middle of lion country at nighttime, you dumb child. So Marianne opens the survivor kit, gets to work, like making sure they have everything they need to survive the evening. Nigel is picking up like reeds and branches from the surrounding area and is starting to like build something, and no one really knows what he is building. And he just yells back like, "It's a cabalito." And everyone's like, okay, great, thanks.
What?
You keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because he seems confident and enthusiastic about this. And so he's basically like, it's what we see him building. It's kind of like on like stilts, and he like is making like a thatched roof looking thing.
Okay.
And so Eliza and Darwin help him get supplies for whatever he's making. Donnie is just like also running around helping get supplies. But as Eliza and Darwin are getting things, Eliza tells Darwin that she's read all about how female lions do most of the hunting, and it works like one female lion, a lioness, will attack and the prey will run, and then another lioness will jump out and cut it off by surprise and kill it with one bite. And Darwin, who, like we mentioned, is prey, is literally just like, girl, what the fuck is wrong with you? Change the subject. Like, we're alone at night with no shelter in lion territory. Like, what is wrong with you?
Why are you telling me this?
Yeah. Like,
can we wait till
up.
Morning? Maybe.
Yeah. Like, what is your plan? They hunt at night. It is night. What are you doing? So he's not stoked about this conversation.
Yes.
But they eventually tuck themselves into like their kind of like little like, you know, space, like the little emergency like safety blankets for the night. Just, you know, out in the open like a bunch of idiots. No shelter, no, they're just laying out by the riverbed. And as they fall asleep, Eliza hears some distant growling and is basically like, fuck yeah, this is gonna happen.
The lions are showing up.
Yep,
it's going
she's
down.
Ready. We are literally
excited about this.
In foil Chipotle burritos right now, because that's what like, those like space blankets are. Come and get us. So we're gonna pause our story right now, so I can tell you just how insanely stupid sleeping in the open like this is. Not just because this is like some savanna that the show says has lions, which indeed hunt at night and it's nighttime, but because I'm obviously going to bring this episode into the real world, because I like to do that. And also they kind of do that in this show. Where did you know, Bird, that lions kill on average at least, or how many people do you think lions kill a year?
Worldwide, or I guess like Africa wide?
Yeah.
Hundreds, no, maybe that's too high.
Yeah.
Okay. 50 to 75.
At least recorded 100 a year.
Oh, wow.
And it says at least recorded because it's assumed that like not every death is recorded on like some official like census or something like that. And this, for comparison, is like sharks kill at most 6 people a year.
Ooh,
and that's probably high estimates, which like people are terrified of, versus lions be out there killing at least 100 people a year.
And lions can run, so that's even scarier, which is also why they kill more people probably.
Yes, like sharks just get out of the water. Lions, bye.
Yeah, you're done. That's it. Very hard to outrun. Wow.
So I'm also briefly going to talk about why this area in particular is so dumb for them. around lion attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So Mount Kilimanjaro and the Kilimanjaro National Park is in like the northeast corner of Tanzania in Africa. And if you just hop across the border, which the national park abuts, you'll find yourself in the Tsavo National Park of Kenya. Mm. And a couple questions. Have you ever heard of the Tsavo region?
I have not, no.
Okay. Well, one, Tsavo means, like literally the definition of, or the translation of that word is place of slaughter.
Okay. That's Next a smooth translation. Makes it sound so appealing.
I feel bad for whoever realized what that translation meant.
Yeah, they were like already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh shit, I gotta go.
So I assume that because you haven't heard of Tsavo, you've maybe never heard of the lions of Tsavo, or more specifically, what's known as the man-eaters of Tsavo. So I highly yes, Alexis.
No, it's just funny. Like, they're not just lions.
Yep, they're the man-eaters of Tsavo.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend listening to Tooth and Claws, which is another podcast, 2-part series covering all of the details about the lions of Tsavo, which is really in-depth, fucking crazy tale. There's also a movie called Ghosts in the Darkness that's like loosely based off of it. And there is an actual like autobiography from someone who was there when this happened.
Okay.
So in the Wayback Machine, it is 1898, and the Brits were building a railroad through parts of Africa, colonizing their way across the continent. And in the Tsavo region, where part of the railroad was being built, in a matter of 9 months, just 2 male lions killed, it's estimated, and eaten and ate 135 people.
Holy shit.
In 9 months.
Whoa.
The book, written by Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson, who was in charge of operations and then, wrote like the autobiography about this, tells this very fucked up, harrowing journey of these 2 likely young, likely injured male lions who would straight up, this was like camps of like thousands of people. And these 2 male lions over 9 months would silently enter camps in the dark of night, literally rip people from the tents to eat them, sometimes like dragging them away, sometimes just eating them right outside of the tent.
Holy crap. For all of their friends and whatnot to see.
Can you imagine just like the person next to you? Like they like had like these like real life accounts of like, the dude next to me started screaming because I looked up and there was a lion taking his foot into its mouth and dragging it out the tent. And I just had to be happy it wasn't fucking me that night. So even when people armed themselves or built walls of, basically they would build these things called bombas, I think, which is like, I think made of like, I don't know how to say it, like acacia thorns, which is basically like really thorn, like bushes that are just straight up fucking thorns. And it's like bombas are like a traditional, I think more of kind of like a hut, but basically it's used to like keep lions out because you just build a wall of thorns. But these 2 male lions didn't give a fuck about those. And there are tales in which the lions would like find an opening like no more than like a few feet around, like within like this like thorn wall. And not only would like squeeze themselves through, but would still squeeze themselves through, grab a human and then drag it out. Which, like, not only are you being mauled to death
through the thorn bush,
not only is a lion about to eat you, but now you're being like dragged across thousands of thorns and like squeezed through.
You reap what you sow.
So like
they never thought those thorn bushes would come back to hurt them.
Nope. The lion said, "You want to keep us out? Try me." So scientists today think that the number of humans actually killed by these 2 man-eating lions, they are in a museum actually, and this like they basically did DNA testing on them, because you can tell if like someone has been eating humans and like tested all their guts and shit, that they maybe actually ate between like 10 and 35 people, which
That's still a lot.
My next line is, which is still too many people.
Yeah. Still 9 to 34 too many people.
Roughly, yes.
Yeah.
And I think even though like, I'm like, yes, both of these ends, like the 135 might be exaggerated, the 10 to 35 may be okay. But I think it's probably, in my incredibly unprofessional opinion, probably somewhere between the two, because the most of the people who were getting eaten were the workers. It wasn't like the high up British army officers. Yeah, it was like
it was poor laborers.
Exactly. Who like it wasn't probably counted properly.
Wow.
Sure, though, this story happened in 1898. But today, or at least in 2010, according to the Smithsonian Mag article that I read, lion attacks in Tsavo are still not unusual at all. Like the article that I read, the Smithsonian, like some like biologist was taking the like reporter around, and like a local they were talking to were like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, just got eaten by a lion the other day, and like the biologist was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. The reporter
it's like the most common form of death there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all right, plan the funeral. There's no body to bury, at least, but hey, we still have a memorial, I guess.
Keep it on.
Yeah.
So yes, very fucking terrifying. And cut to the Thornberrys just out in their burrito sacks.
Eat me. Like a diner sign pops up over them.
Say a neon sign.
Yeah.
Snacks. 24/7. Always open. Always warm.
Always warm. Always fresh.
Always fresh.
Fresh meat. Never frozen.
Always fresh, never frozen. Just how we like it. So yes, not only do we hop back to the Thornberrys, but we hop back to Debbie getting out of bed, fucking over this camping situation, and deciding that she is going to hike down the river herself to find the Calm V and bring it back to her family by herself at night in a place where literally 100 years before 2 man-eating lions existed, and where currently man-eating lions still exist.
Yes.
So she goes off into the night to do that. And moments later, Eliza hops right out of bed too.
Oh my god.
Hearing more lion growls. Again, she is like, let's fucking do it, which is a classic Death Note by Eliza. Donnie does wake up and try and like stop her, but she just shoos him away and heads out there solo. And I will say, Donnie like kind of watches her like go off for a while, hears the lions, and then goes to wake up Darwin, who he tries to communicate with that like Eliza's going off into the savannah. This is a bad news bears situation, bad news lions situation, if you will. So
I will.
Oh, thank you. In response to the deep growls, as Eliza goes off deeper and deeper by herself like an idiot, Eliza like growls and roars back, trying to like narrow in where the lions are. But of course, she is a small child, and they are the kings of the jungle. So she all of a sudden, unexpectedly, finds herself face to face with a huge, enormous male lion who jumps out and surprises her and is baring his teeth. So Eliza, who is pretty well read, but is either clearly too cocky or did not read the book about the man-eating lions of Tsavo, just kind of like bows and says, "It is such a great honor to meet a magnificent lion as yourself, sir." And the lion, because it's a lion, continues to creep closer to her and starts to like growl even more. She finally does realize when it's like inches from her face, like, I didn't plan this out very well.
I thought that he wouldn't eat me if I bowed to him.
Yeah.
Fuck what you do. Your food. I'm hungry.
Exactly. So she starts to panic and is like, what do you do in this situation? You brown nose. So she starts giving him compliments about how handsome and wise and regal he is. And finally, between growls, because again, he can understand Eliza, he responds in almost like a Mufasa Scar-esque voice that she keeps missing his most important quality, which is that he's hungry. And he roars and immediately starts chasing her down because, duh, Eliza.
He's hungry.
He's hungry. So, smartly, well, actually, let me note real quick here that it's presumed that one of the reasons lions do kill so many people per year is because of human encroachment, that like we basically are like lessening their territories because we keep expanding into their territories. Mm-hmm. And thus lions are getting sometimes more desperate, like they have less room to hunt. And so they sometimes have to just get whatever prey comes their way. Mm-hmm. And so basically it's our own damn fault, not to victim blame humans, but it's our own damn fault. So,
yeah, I mean, there's an easy way to not get eaten by a lion.
Yeah. Like, don't build your house.
By not going near a lion.
Yeah. By not going out into the brush being like, what up with these lions? Yeah. Or at least not going in this dumb way like Eliza currently is. Yes. Et cetera, et cetera. So Eliza, while running from this lion, notices a very like thorny bush a la what Simba falls into in The Lion King, which, side note, I think you already know this fact, but Simba means lion in Swahili. Just a fun little fact.
I did not know that fact. Makes me dislike Disney a little bit for the lack of creativity there.
Most of the things named in Lion King are just Swahili words.
Direct translations.
Like, very direct, like lion.
Scar.
Place of slaughter.
Scar.
Oh, God. So, yes, it's like this thorny bramble, and she sees a tiny opening that she squeezes into. And the male lion immediately just like himself right into the bushes. It is too small or like the bramble. So it's too small for him to get into. And we straight up see him like get stabbed by a shitload of thorns. And they're all like sticking out of his face with like little blood drops everywhere.
Oh, jeez. That's just blood. Damn.
Yes. Blood is drawn, episode 1.
Let's go.
Let's do this.
What? This was 98, right?
Yeah.
5-year-old Grace and Alexis. We want more.
We got our first taste for blood.
Give us more. I need 5 seasons of this shit.
And a movie. So, unluckily, though, as Eliza kind of like crawls through, makes her way through this brush, probably getting cut up the whole way, she does come out on the other side just to see 2 lionesses waiting for her on that side. And for a second, we think it's all going to be okay because the lionesses start laughing as Eliza comes out and like the male lion comes around, because the 2 lionesses immediately just fucking roast the male lion by being like, if you went on a hunt every once in a while, maybe you wouldn't be so clumsy, as he's like picking thorns from his face. So that's one good note of something. But Eliza, in awe, also enjoying the roast, decides to compliment them too, give her reverence, saying that female lions do all the work. Which, side note, as we saw with the lions of Tsavo, male lions also kill and have like male prides, including, and I should have written this down, that there was once may have been also in Kenya, a really like a 5 lion pride of all male lions. It was like 4 brothers and like a half brother who just fucking for like a decade ran that shit. They like murdered other lions. Like this was their territory. So yes, lionesses do most of the hunting and stuff, but male lions will sometimes too, especially if they're young, don't have a pride yet. They still hunt.
Yeah,
anyways, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But Eliza does add that they are the best hunters in the world, complimenting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these lions, first of all, laugh again and are like, oh my God, thanks, girl. So true. And now you get to see it firsthand. And I was like, wait a second. This voice. Why do one of these lions sound dead on Yzma in Emperor's New Groove? And one source, I should have gone back to double check it, but I didn't want it to be wrong, so I refused to. But it was listed, I guess, on like some wiki pages that indeed Eartha fucking Kitt
amazing
did a guest appearance in the first episode of this show.
Amazing.
Just like, did Tim Curry text her and was like, hey girl. Can you come be this lioness for like 6 lines? And she was like, no problem.
That's a perfect role for her, though.
I know, straight up.
I was like, she can do the purr,
Exactly. She was Catwoman. Well. She's yes, it was. I lost my shit when I was
oh my god.
Because like the second it started speaking, I was like, Yzma? Why is someone doing the Yzma voice?
I
like,
recognize that.
That's weird.
Another rest in peace.
I know. Truly.
So yeah, we didn't know how good we had it back then.
I was about to be like, if you want to trip down like all of the icons in one lane, watch, I guess, all 5 seasons of the Wild Thornberrys, because you gonna get them. They hooked them.
They're in
there. Yes, like I said, Eartha Kitt is like, girl, thanks. Now you get to see it. And this little sweet dumb 12-year-old is stoked, and she's like, yeah, I was looking for lions because I want to see you hunt. Like, it's iconic. And Eartha Kitt is like, oh no, like, you don't understand. You're not watching us work. You're running from us. You're not hunting with us. You're being hunted. So.
Oh, Eliza.
Oh, Eliza.
So naive. So brave,
dumb.
So stupid.
So stupid. I think she, like us, browsed the encyclopedias about lions. Like, we browsed our Wikipedia page.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, they're big, Africa, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Let's go see some.
Hunt. Stats on eating humans. And next page.
Don't care. That's a little too scary for me. What else about that?
My parents didn't let me read the scary pages. I just kept going. So meanwhile, back at camp, a wild boar strolls in, which is actually kind of scary because those animals
would be terrifying.
Are nuts. Yeah. But its presence does finally wake these parents, who finally realize that their entire family is gone. Like, Darwin and Donnie have also left at this point. Eliza and Debbie, nowhere to be seen. Like, all of the blankets are off. As far as they know, all of their family just got eaten.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be your first thought, because who would be stupid enough to run out into the wilderness? Like,
these children.
They have more faith in their kids than they deserve to have.
Exactly. So, well, and actually that could be true, because instead of going to look for them, Nigel is just like, no, we got to finish this caballito here. And so they just keep working. So I guess they're like,
they're already dead. Kids. All of the kids.
We'll just make some more. Well, we might as well get ourselves a hut, because I ain't going to get dragged away by a lion. Do this. So they just start doing that while their children are literally face to face with lions, which cut back to Eliza, who changes her tactic. Instead of complimenting them, which is not working, instead she goes into interview mode, starts showing that she can be a value add to this company. She's clever, she's smart, she's fearless, like, she's got it going. So the lionesses say, okay, fine. If you can kill the prey for us tonight, you won't become the prey for us tonight. So hunt or be hunted is what's going down now.
Oh, God.
So Eliza, she's feeling a bit bamboozled by this. She thought they were just going to say, great, you're in the pride, you're part of the pack now, instead of what turns into literally Eliza having to like walk through the brush with the 2 lionesses like steps behind her, like teeth bared, breathing down her neck. Fucking terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
So they explain that, yes, if she had killed something for them, they won't eat her that night, which again, they're just saying that night. So girl, you dead tomorrow either way.
Right, yeah.
But they decide to start her off easy when they find what they think will be a very easy prey, because clearly this animal's very tired and will, quote, be easy to kill once you break the skin, unquote, which like terrifying because they like zoom in on the teeth when they say that. Again, cut to you and me, 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah, like drinking our Capri Sun.
Exactly.
Like a Lunchable. Mm-hmm.
Versus eating a fruit roll.
Eliza's about to get an animal killed. Yeah.
Killer
a lot
killed,
for a first episode.
Yes. So Eliza looks up to see like what they're kind of like indicating is the prey. And it's Debbie.
Oh.
So
plot twist.
Alexis, what would you do if you were in this situation? If you were Eliza right now?
Austin and Aaron, I love you, but
yeah, what you doing right now? You're Eliza in this moment. 2 lionesses, Eartha Kitt right behind you. Male lion, I don't know where he went. They told you, hunter be hunted.
I feel like I incriminate myself either way, so I'd prefer not to answer.
All right, you can plead the 5th. We'll allow it. Because what Eliza does, she leaps out of the bushes, and I was very confused for like a second watching this. I was like, what the fuck is happening? She just starts like waving her arms, like screaming and running dead on Debbie, like screaming at the top of her lungs, and absolutely just fucking side checks her to the ground. And they start wrestling and fighting, like full on. Eliza's like, like attacking her sister, which does impress the lionesses because it looks like she's going for it. Mm-hmm. But in reality, Eliza, between her screams and like scratching Debbie's face, is whispering to Debbie that when I say run, run. So very smart on Eliza's part for how dumb she's been, is like, I'm gonna act like I'm attacking her just to get my space between myself and the lions. Mm-hmm. Then we go. Maybe she is trying to weaken Debbie so Debbie becomes the prey.
Yeah, right.
Unclear.
Make sure she breaks her foot or something real quick. Debbie's foot.
Exactly.
Like, just in case if they chase after us, at least I'm going to be the one to get away.
Exactly. And really, Eliza whispers in the ear, hunter be hunted.
Yeah. Debbie's like, what are you talking about?
What the fuck?
Why are we fighting?
What is wrong with you?
Doesn't even see the lions.
Yeah, probably not, because they are very stealthy hunters. Mm-hmm. And having heard Eliza's screams, though, Darwin and Donnie, who have been looking for Eliza, spill out of the bushes, and the girls stop fighting for a moment to be like, oh shit, you two are here too. And in this single moment of pause, the lionesses realize this is a hoax. Oh, and we got 4 snacks on our hands now, not
our
just
whole
one.
Family is set.
Yes, exactly. Darwin is like, I fucking told you.
Damn it.
Yeah, I knew it. So the Thornberry youth start to run again, kind of like up a trail, but the trail is cut off by the male lion. So now they're stuck between 2 very bad, hungry options at night. It's still raining, by the way, this whole time, and very alone. But with no other options, the Thornberry kids literally just, they're like kind of on a little cliffside, just yeet themselves off of it, off this little cliff's edge, into, you guessed it, the riverbed that hasn't been flooded yet.
Okay.
But they jump down it, they start sprinting through the mud, but the lions easily jump down too. It's like, that's not even like yeeting themselves anywhere, and like not even a chance of them getting hurt. They just like hop off because they're lions. and continue to chase
like you said,
them.
It's not flooded, so
yeah, exactly.
They don't need to swim. They're just running down there.
Running. Exactly. Like, just keep running after them. But it is still raining. and they are in the riverbed in this huge storm. And moments later, the roaring river flooding does rush towards them, but very violently for this kids show, it wipes all of them. Eliza, Debbie, Darwin, Donnie, all 3 lions, like up in its wake.
Oh my God.
And you just see them like struggling to like get their heads above like this like roaring river. And then the Thornberry youth are able to like help themselves to crawl up kind of like the muddy like side and get onto the riverbank. And then full fucking on a Lion King style, like 2 of the lionesses like try to get up but are washed away. And then the male lion, one paw gets up, the other paw gets up, and then fucking Donnie just like punches the male lion.
Let's go, Donnie.
He fucking flies back into the river, and you just see them soar off down the river. Like all 3 lions gone. Dead, probably.
Most
At
likely.
least is what I was thinking. Moments later, Nigel and Marianne row up in the cabalito, which isn't a hut made of reeds, but a boat that indigenous fishermen of southern Peru make, which is thus like the hatch, almost roof-like structure.
Gotcha.
That's how they build it, and then you flip it over. It's a fucking boat.
Gotcha.
So Nigel is making it to forge the river because he knew it would be faster. A side note, this is why I love this show. Like this is a real thing. Like the cabalito, I think it's totora is what this like traditional boat is called.
Yeah.
Very fun.
The writers did their research.
Exactly.
I'm sure that'll be something we talk about throughout all these episodes.
Yes,
but
they had consultants. They did a good job. If they can afford Tim Curry, Flea, Eartha Kitt on occasion, they can get a biologist in here.
Exactly. And like historians and stuff from different regions of the world. Yeah.
Yep. And so the family hops into the boat to reunite. We do see that the lions way down the bank did manage to save themselves and get out of the water.
Good.
Yes. It was a minute or 2 later. That whole time I was like, what the fuck, Wild Thornberrys? Isn't this a conservation
you just killed
show?
3. Yeah.
You just murdered 3 lions by this child.
From the jump, episode 1. Let's go.
Blood, murder. Done. Again, why this show is fitting for this show.
Yes.
So again, no one was murdered in episode 1, which again, yes, would be a turn for this nature wildlife loving family. And then they continue to float down the river. They find the Conv had washed up on the shore, and the end.
All right.
Everyone's good.
Wonderful. Amazing. Great job.
Thank you. It's a long episode.
Literally, they only survived from like sheer luck. Like, I mean, they just were super lucky that the river flooded over at that exact moment, and that they happened to jump into it at the moment, like right before. Yeah, because there were 50 times where each one of those members of the family, at least the kids and Darwin, should have died.
I would say like 98.6% of the time they should be dead.
Yeah.
Like
the odds were ever not in their favor. Never in their favor.
Never in their favor. And like truly an act of nature saved them, but almost killed them, which again, the 98.6% of the time, because they should have drowned also. Yeah. More than once in this episode.
So yeah, even the thing that did save them should have also straight up gotten them off of here. Wow. Amazing. Episode 1 of this show.
Like I
came out in 1998 for children.
Yeah, I feel like Nickelodeon was like, all right, we got some hits on our hand. Okay, what gets the people going? Yeah, like action. Okay, like we've had some success with that. Ooh, okay, wild animals. Ooh, okay, they like mysteries, that kind of stuff. And then someone just literally like kicked down the door of Nickelodeon with like riding a fucking lion, and they were like, Wild Thornberry motherfuckers, let's do this. And then the show was created.
Let's see 3 kids and their pet monkey possibly be eaten by 3 lions
every week.
I want to see it every week. Let's go.
Every week. How do they almost die?
Yeah.
Let's watch and find out.
It's like the weekly writers room, or just like daily writers room meeting. They like all get there. It's like 10 a.m. They sit down. All right, folks. How did the kids almost die today? What animal is going to try to kill these kids today? How are Miriam and Nigel going to like almost die today? Like that's how they literally start writing every episode.
Like there's like a banner in the writer's room of like, how are we gonna kill these kids?
Yeah.
And then like on occasion there's like one writer who's a little too enthusiastic and they're like, all right, Johnson, we told you we're gonna have to fire you.
Yeah.
They have to almost die by animals or natural disasters, not other humans.
Yeah.
This is getting weird, Johnson. Calm down.
It's like, we can do that sometimes, but like you pitch that literally every day.
Why do you have so many details about how the poachers almost murder the kids?
Right.
Johnson, we're going to need your background check again.
Yeah. Johnson, you're fired.
Yeah. Wow. So yes, it's an amazing show. It really started off the bat like this show never walks. It only ever fully Usain Bolt sprints.
Like those lions chasing after the kids. This show sprints. Pulls no punches from the jump. Yeah.
And another shout out to the podcast Tooth and Claw. It gives so many great like lion facts during the Lions of Tsavo episode. Just about like how they hunt and like their biology. And again, just like that entire tale of like the man-eating lions of Tsavo is truly terrifying. Like this like colonel who was in charge, like almost like every night, like he started just like losing sleep because he would like post up in a tree to like, okay, they attacked this camp last night. I'll wait for them with my rifle in this tree. And then like a mile away, he would hear the screams of like the lions always knew where like he was and would go to a different camp. At one point they built like a little like cage to like trap the lion, and like one of the lions got into the cage, but the way to trap it was that it was like bars, and then two other people trapped in that side just had to shoot the lion, and the lion was like inches from them. So of course they fucking froze because they were like, shit, what do we do?
They'd never seen anything like that.
Yep.
Like, they don't have lions in Great Britain or the United Kingdom.
Exactly. And like these lions have killed all their coworkers. And so the lion busts back out of the cage and gets out of there. Like it is so y'all gotta go.
I gotta check it out.
So wild and terrifying, and just like one of those things where I was like, you know, for all of the really horrible things happening in our world today, at least like, you know, people are sent, well, not everywhere, I guess, but like, you know, you're usually at least going to have like walls around you instead of a canvas tent when you're sent to go work somewhere, maybe, hopefully.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe.
In most, at least in like 60% of the time, because there's lions waiting to eat you just outside your tent and just drag you. And like they were also like, oh yeah, what was our like way to not get eaten by, like, hope you weren't the one who gets picked, is like they all just had to sleep with their heads towards the center of the tent, so that if the lion came in, it would just bite their foot, not their head.
Their head.
That was it. Hope for the best.
But I can survive without a foot, but this thing.
Cut to, again, Thornberrys wrapping themselves up.
Yeah.
Under the diner sign.
Heads exposed.
Yeah, exactly. Only their heads out. Like the top of a burrito. So, anyways, yes, that's our first episode here of The Wild Thornberrys.
Wow.
It's going to be a wild ride in the best way possible. So, that's what we got.
Yeah.
And between now and next week, when you have an episode, who should our audience tell about this show?
I think you got to find a lion trainer and or tamer. I don't know what I guess trainer. I don't know if they can be tamed. And tell them like, hey, they just did an episode about lions and how dangerous they are. You should go listen to this podcast. This arc was made for y'all.
True.
Yes.
I think after that, you should go find someone who, people aren't really taking railroads anymore, more like subways if you're going to take one. So find someone who works on, like some type of rail-esque thing and be like, hey, you should listen to this episode and feel a lot better about working, the T here in Boston because you ain't got lions trying to eat you all the time. You're welcome.
Good thing this line is not going through Serengeti.
Exactly. Keep this line into DC and that's it.
Yes.
No lions, hopefully. I don't know, the DC Zoo, I don't know where it's at. They could be there at any point in time.
It's in between 2 metro stops.
Well, then
watch out if you're on the red line.
Watch out.
It's called the red line because of the blood shed from the lions.
All of those workers are actually armed at all times just for like lion stun guns.
Just at those 2 stops.
Always
you never know. You never know.
Why do you think you see them like sprinting and working out all the time? They have to be faster than you and they know it.
Exactly.
That's how you actually survive, is don't be the slowest. And great. Well, that's it for now. We'll
until next week.
This is kind of a long episode, so thanks for sticking with us. And yes, we'll see y'all.
Got to get it kicked off.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.